I'm pro regular suicide. I'm for whatever gets the freeway moving, quite frankly. And and you know, and on the abortion issue, let me just say this. I'm certainly pro-choice, but I understand the other side on that. You don't have to be religious to be against abortion. I kind of get that. I'm not with you on that, but I understand. I do. You ever see a sonogram? I get it. There's a little creature in there, and we're kind of reaching in and killing it. I see that. I'm just not against it. No, I'm for abortion up until the 3rd trimester of high school. So I am very radical on that, but that's just me. But when they take it to stem cells, you know, that to me is just going way too far on the other side of the equation. Stem cells are not even cells. Being against stem cell research is very close to declaring that life begins when you're just thinking about fucking somebody. And it's a good example of how religion does infect policy, because if you remember, in 2001, in August, George Bush, when he should have been thinking about bin Laden during that month, he had that big decision to make about stem cells, remember that? So he went away to the ranch to think for like a month. Oh, the red states were very impressed. That George Bush, he's down there thinking. He's a thinker. I love it when George Bush thinks he's punishing world leaders by not inviting them to the ranch. You know, like Jacques Chirac is just crestfallen that he won't be leaving the dreary Elysee Palace in Paris, France to go fart hot dogs and watch the Golf Channel in Crawford, Texas. But yeah, he went down to the ranch to think about stem cells, and then he emerges like a month later with this King Solomon-like decision where he has split the difference that the media hails as so wise. As if it is wise to split the difference between people who really could be helped and your right-wing nutbase who would rather see research go undone, all because some microscopic goo on a subatomic level might, what, one day grow up to be a Republican? I don't know. I don't get. But you know, we're talking about a president who doesn't believe in evolution. Again, I'm not making this up. I'm not mocking him. I'm reporting. This guy says the jury's out. Jury's out. Don't know. It's a theory. He says, well, that's a theory in creationism. Got 2 good theories. I'm Swiss. I'm telling you, I am. Are you Swiss too? Are there a lot of Swiss people here? Because this is just... And I know people are saying, Bill, you're so mean, ridiculing religion. I am not ridiculing religion. It ridicules itself, okay? I'm not the one being hostile. I'll tell you what I think is hostile. What I think is hostile when so many people preface everything they say, as so many do nowadays, with, well, I'm a Christian. You know how people do that? You want fries with that? Well, I'm a Christian. You know, as if they have the moral high ground. Please, I'm a Christian, so I've got the high ground here. You know, they think that's what I'm hearing. They think I'm hearing I'm a better person. But really what I'm hearing is you have a neurological disorder. And same as when they say Jesus is always with me. I'm hearing, okay, that's called having an imaginary friend. Which is okay when you're a child. When you're a child, it's okay to believe in myths and fairy tales to settle unsettling questions in your mind. But when you get older, you have to kind of look at it again. Yes, it's not your fault. I'm not being hostile. I'm trying to find a way to understand how otherwise bright people can believe in stuff that is nonsensical and spiritually unnecessary. And the reason is because they did it to you when you were a kid. I also was raised Catholic. People, adults, they put stupid shit in kids' heads. They don't do it just mentally, they do it physically. When I was a kid, they drilled mercury into my cavities. Mercury, which we now avoid even in fish, even in trace amounts, and they drilled it right into my head. But when I got older, I had it drilled out, and you can do the same thing with Catholicism. I personally have been studying Kabbalah in Us magazine, which apparently is where they keep all the lore of that religion. Well, seriously, does anything make people do stupider things than religion? The Supreme Court this year heard the case about the 10 Commandments. This is my favorite of the last couple of years about religion, because, you know, one of the 10 Commandments says, don't worship statues. So in Alabama, they made a statue of the 10 Commandments and worshipped it. Wow, that's powerful stupid. I mean, that is seriously powerful. And again, I'm not making it up, I'm just reporting. And of course, besides the fact that you shouldn't drag the 10 Commandments in front of your courthouse because it might show you're a little prejudicial to one religion, did anyone notice that among the 10 Commandments, hardly any of them are laws? If anything doesn't belong in front of a courthouse, it should be the 10 Commandments. They're not laws. Don't curse, not a law. Honor your mom and dad, not a law. Take Sunday off, not a law. Don't fuck around on your wife, not a law. Although you can get impeached for that one. And don't worship statues, not a law. And also, obviously, not understood in many parts of the country. Now, only 2 of the commandments are laws. Don't steal and don't kill. Now, couldn't we all have just gotten together and agreed on that without all the bells and whistles? Couldn't we have just gotten together and said, look, I won't slaughter you and don't take my shit? You know, no, I gotta get that from a burning bush. I gotta get that from a burning bush, unless I see that in a bush. It's just, you know, these are troubled times. We have to think our way out. We can't faith our way out. It's not a coincidence that so much of Bush's base are faith people, because Bush works in mysterious ways. It helps to have faith. It really does. But religion, it stops people from thinking because they think all the answers are in that one book. It impedes progress. It justifies crazy people. Flying planes into a building was a faith-based initiative. And matters of otherwise common sense become points of debate, like gay marriage. Would we even be having this discussion about whether gay people can marry except for religion? Of course the Catholic Church doesn't want gay men to marry. Half the priesthood would walk out the door the first day and marry the UPS driver. It's because it says in the Bible, no queers. That's where the whole thing comes from, the Bible. The same book that says slavery is okay. and that you can stone someone to death for working on Sunday. That book, the one with the snake and the poison apple and the virgin birth, and people lived in a whale and people lived to 900 years old. That infallible work of genius that the president believes literally. I'm telling you, sometimes this guy is so retarded he could be on death row